We're live? Live? All right. Excuse me. All right. Good evening. Welcome back. At this time, I will recall to order the meeting of the Suffern Central School District for Wednesday, July 6, 2022. Let the record reflect all board members are present. Please rise for the pledge.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, before we go to our next item, I just want to take a minute and just introduce Ms. Marla Dickman as our new board vice president for this year. That's right. Anybody that didn't tune in for the reorg meeting, very excited to have you sitting here. So thank you. 1.07 is the public hearing on district-wide emergency response plan. This is the opportunity for the public to come and speak, give any comment on said response plan. Okay. 1.08 minutes of the regular meeting, June 21st. Do I have a motion? Mrs. Hodge. Second? Mr. Shapiro? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 All those against? Any abstentions? 1.09 minutes of the special meeting of June 28th, 2022. Do I have a motion? Mr. Frazier? Second? Second. Ms. Dickman? All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? I abstain. I guess everybody else was here. 1.10 superintendent comments.
All right, this is some good stuff. Happy summer, everyone, and it's so nice to see an audience here in front of us at one of our summer meetings. We very much appreciate you coming here today, and I know that the reason why the majority of you are here today is because for a variety of reasons, not all of our students were able to join us in person for our graduation commencement ceremonies at Clover Stadium. And regretfully, we did not announce the names of those students who were not present physically at the commencement. So we very much wanted to bring you here to our board meeting so we could congratulate each of you for really helping to make the Suffern Central School District just a wonderful place by all the hard work and dedication you've put yourself into. Really, what I'm trying to say is congratulations on your graduation. We're very proud of what you've been able to do at Suffern High School, and we want to take a few moments to recognize you for your accomplishments and let you know how much we appreciate what you've done for our school community. We're very proud of you, and we know that all of you have bright futures ahead of you. So to lead us off in this brief, but albeit very important ceremony is Mr. Pat Breen, the principal of Suffern High School.
Apologize for not recognizing you in absentia, which is a practice we will continue moving forward. So again, our apologies for that. I also want to applaud those of you who were quarantined or at home and doing the right thing and protecting the safety of your fellow classmates and others around you. So thank you for that. It's certainly a demonstration of great character and integrity, and it made us proud, made me proud. So thank you. I'm honored to have this opportunity to recognize you this evening and present to you your diploma before members of our district community. I also want to wish you a great success moving forward. I know the next few weeks will be very exciting as you head out to college, the military, the workforce. And again, congratulations. So when I call your name, please come forward to receive your diploma. And I believe Dr. Gunderson is going to assist me. We'll begin with Selma Kane. Okay, you can still clap. Imogen Dasak. Jaden Davis, Brian DeMuro, Trinity Gosinski Lynch, Brooke Hirsch, congratulations. Grant Levine, congratulations. David Masser, Ian McGinley, Casey Mermelstein, Justin Narciso, Natalia Pierrelis, Jacob Ruiz, Glenn Toussaint, and Dylan Vo. Oh, congratulations to all the students.
So the bonus that you have is that the students a couple of weeks ago had an empty half liquid. So you open it up, you think there's a diploma in there isn't, but you actually have the real diploma.
You're more than welcome to stay, but you are absolutely allowed to go. Thank you. Congratulations. Thank you, everybody. All right. Part of our process towards the conclusion of the spring was to have our administrative team take a look at our strategic plan for the district that was developed about a year ago, a little bit over a year ago, and take a look at what we're proud of with regards to accomplishments as we move forward in in achieving some of the goals that were set forth in the strategic plan, but also we wanted to pause and get some feedback from our community about what they're very proud of as we are moving towards accomplishing the goals of our strategic plan. So Ms. Mermelstein is here to talk about this really new and unique tool that she has started here at Suffern Central, which is called a thought exchange. She's going to talk a little bit about what thought exchange is all about, and then how the district has utilized thought exchange to solicit feedback and input from our community as we continue to move forward towards achieving the goals of our strategic plan. Ms. Mermelstein?
All right, thank you. So as Dr. Gunnarsson mentioned, we started using this program called Thought Exchange this year, and we were able to launch one program before the end of the school year. And really it was created for us to just kind of get a feel for the community, the students, and the staff's view of the last year, kind of like a pulse check, so to speak. So the exchange was launched at the end of May and ran through the beginning of June. The question we posed to the community was, throughout this past school year, what programs and initiatives did you see as successful for students and or the district? And then how can we improve for the future? So as I'm going to talk about the results of this particular question and what we saw. And then at the end, I'm going to speak a little bit about maybe some things we learned and ways to improve our different types of exchanges as we move forward. So we broke this survey, for lack of a better word, into 3 groups. Overall, we had 842 participants. Out of those 842 participants, there were 401 separate thoughts, comments, if you will. And then among those participants and thoughts, there were over 11,000 ratings. So that's average about 13 thoughts rated per person. So some people went on there, they gave a thought, and then after you put in a thought, you're then prompted to rate other people's thoughts. So the average person did that for about 13 times. You can enter as many thoughts as you want, and you can rate as many thoughts as you want. And you can go back. So you can do this on the day it opens, and you could do it a week later, and you could visit it again before it closes. The other cool thing about this program is that it prompts language. So if you are not a native English speaker, you can choose from a drop-down menu the language that you would like to answer the exchange in, and everything will be translated. And then when we see the results, they're translated. And you can see when a thought has been translated in the results as well. So that's pretty cool. We had, about 4% of the population answer in Spanish. And some in Ukraine. So that was pretty cool to see. The 3 participation groups that we broke it down were parents, guardians, and community members that were just living in the district without kids. That was one group. The second was staff, and the third was student. When you pick your group in the thought exchange, you then only see thoughts and can only rate thoughts from that same group. So for instance, I could participate as both a parent and as a staff member. You can go back to do that as well. So as you can see, we had the majority of people that participated were from that parent community member group. They gave the most thoughts and they did the most ratings. And then staff was second and students were third. We chose not to do a big push to students on this one in particular. We want to be select in what we ask them to respond to us about. And this was really kind of a pulse of the entire year. So we took what we got, but we didn't push this directly out to students beyond just our initial push on our connected system. So just one more thing about the breakdown of participation. You'll see here that it breaks it down by percentage. We asked people to identify themselves kind of in a bucket. Do they identify mostly with an elementary, middle, high school? Are they an employee? None of the above or other. So a lot of elementary participation and a lot of high school participation as well. Okay, so this is the way that this works. So one thing we learned, which I'll say now, is that when you're participating in a thought exchange, it's important to be really specific and honest about your rating of thoughts. So as this being our first one, we didn't spend a lot of time honing in that message to the people that were participating. So we just said, give us your thoughts. We just put some thoughts down, read the others, and rate them. So what we found, the biggest thing we found out is that everybody likes everybody else's thoughts. They were all rated really high, which means, so you're seeing 5 stars. The thoughts were rated on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being you strongly agree and 1 being you strongly disagree. Okay. So a lot of thoughts, people were reading thoughts and strongly agreeing. So take that for what that is. You know, next time we launch one, we have talked about being a little bit more specific and saying, hey, if this thought doesn't resonate with you, only give it 1 star. So that'll help to kind of give us a little bit more detail. So just a couple of the key thoughts overall across the board. The community loves our music program. They love the pairing of elementary and high school students. We talked about that a lot this year in our communications and science and civics. You saw it. You see it in the elementary, in our social and emotional programs when our high schoolers go down to the middle school. And so that gets a lot of positive feedback. But not everything was always positive. People were specific. They want more elementary library programs. We love project-based learning. Some of the other thoughts on project-based learning were, we'd like to see more of it across the board in different places. Usage of one-to-one devices for technology for staff and students is positive, and our Suffern Scoop on social media, which was an initiative we started this year. So it's great to see some feedback on that as well. So there was a lot of data, and what's really cool about this program is that it helps you understand the data and put it into different ways of seeing it. We decided to take all of the thoughts and bucket them by the 5 strategic our 5 points in our strategic plan. So what you'll see now is the top themes and the top thoughts in those 5 buckets. And that we did because as we look into next year and coming up with our goals and plans for the next school year, we can take a look and see where does the community and where does staff and where do students feel we are on target, or what we need to do to, it's a good way to kind of help us along when we're looking at those things. So the 5 strategic plan buckets, if you not remember, are academic success for all, social and emotional learning and support, family and community engagement, targeted resource use, and staff development and support. And they're listed here so that's a bar graph, but there were 174 thoughts for academic success, 73 for social emotional, 62 family and community, 35 targeted resource, and 13 staff. And some thoughts are in 2 different buckets. So you can rank a thought in up to 2 different places. So you'll see some of them can be tagged for both academic success and targeted resource use, or so on. So just some of the top thoughts, and this is available online, and we're going to be sharing it on our website, so you can go deeper into it, as you have time. With regards to family and community engagement, again, the scoop, we heard about, election day, maybe incorporating that with a school event, or there's art showcase, and also voting in general, right? So you're not just seeing positive thoughts, you're seeing thoughts that might provide us with a little bit of, okay, let's think about this. How can we improve? Diversity and multicultural nights were big, and recognizing excellence. So as you'll see, and this is what I was talking about before, all of this, everything is rated 4, 4, 4, 5, 4, 3. So it's hard to really get into. There weren't 5 thoughts that bubbled to the top, but I just kind of pulled the top thoughts with the most people that ranked them. So that top thought there, the scoop, was the top ranked the most people ranked that as a 4.5. Academic success, again, the music program. We saw a lot of stuff about the music program and the musicals at the high school level and the middle school. Again, the pairing of the students, different, we call that passing down the pride. The reading, library, project-based learning is big. Robotics is big. Expanding that robotics program into more of the middle school and the elementary. So it's a feeder for the high school. And enrichment programs, kind of increasing enrichment programs for all kids, either after school or before. So again, that was the thought, right? Enrichment program opportunities for all. Would love to see all students giving the opportunity. So it doesn't go into detail around like, well, we had those enrichment. I'm not sure if that's a thank you for having those enrichment programs this year, because we did in all the buildings, or we need more. So again, when we go to do this again, we're going to ask the question a little bit differently so that we can get an answer that might be a little more targeted as opposed to just kind of a general enrichment programs. But first time we're doing this, so we're all learning along the way. Here's some social and emotional learning and supports. Again, that see how that elementary and the high school student pairing comes into this bucket as well. Emotional, mental health, wellness activities and programs are key. Sports and music programs are great. Team building. So the other thing that this kind of reinforces is that the messaging that we're putting out to the district is being heard, right? So the stories that you're seeing on social media, on the website, how we're talking about what we're doing in our buildings, that's what's being talked about on these thought exchanges as well. Bathrooms are a problem and food should be different. So those are some of the ones that aren't as positive, but still, constructive criticism. Everything was, there wasn't any participation from anyone that was in a impolite negative way. Everybody kind of participated in a very kind of structured positive thinking, even if it wasn't a positive, thought that they wanted to see improve, it was still handled really well, which was great. I give kudos to everybody that participated in this that way. Couple of new things that came up, more enrichment, use of computers. Again, so they're saying laptops were provided for all students so they can study and be on par with others. That's great. So they're saying yay, or they're saying we need it. I mean, we have it for everybody, so I'm assuming yay. But again, there's ways that we can discern that information a little bit more when we ask questions different. And then some of the stuff regarding staff development and support, teachers posting grades in the portal more consistently, skills can be have teaching skills be continually sharpened. Here's the PBL bringing it across the board. And we are across the board with PBL. So that for me as the communications person is signs like, okay, maybe we're not telling the stories about communications being, or about PBL being at the high school or the middle school level. So how can we how can we just make sure that message is told? Support staff with mental health resources and, create this accountability across the board. So again, those are just the top thoughts. Bless you. Key takeaways, like I said, it was a great experience. It was really cool to work in the program, and we look forward to bringing this program not just at a district level, but potentially at building level or just for staff or just for students. We are pleased with the overall engagement, but we are looking to get a little more specific next time, and we'll educate the participants about the rating system in a little bit more detail when we launch another one. And the more we feel, the more we use a tool, the more comfortable people will be. Maybe more people will say, oh, okay, that only took 5 minutes of my time last time. I can go on now and I can rate that thought. So that's kind of our biggest takeaways. And I just wanted to leave you with this little word cloud. One of the cool things about Thought Exchange is they give you all these different ways to look at your data. This is just the words that were used in the thoughts. So the bigger the word, the more times it was used. Program, kids, learning, children. I mean, that's what we're here for, all of those things. So overall, very positive. So that's kind of it.
Ms. Brumwell, thank you so much.
Yeah.
So I feel like this was a good first experience with Thought Exchange here. And as Ms. Mermelstein said, generally the thoughts were very positive. what I'm very interested in seeing is when we start asking questions that are a little bit more controversial or have a variety of different opinions, we will be able to launch this out to our community. And again, it doesn't take a person to come all the way to a Board of Education meeting or to send an email to an administrator or see one of our board members out and about in the community to give their thoughts. Here's an easy way to provide your thought about something that the administration or the board wants to know what community members think about what we're doing as a school district. So I look forward to pushing more of these out with more controversial topics to really get a sense of what people are thinking about, and providing them with an easier opportunity to provide their thoughts to our district so we can gauge how we should operate as a school district accordingly. So what we did with this thought exchange is Ms. Mermelstein provided an overview, similar overview, but a little bit longer to our administrative team. We dove into the feedback more deeply, and we started to look at our strategic plan and some of the other mechanisms we have for goal setting in our district. And we tried to see what our priorities for work should look like for the upcoming school year based on the feedback from the community. So we've been able to break it down into 5 priorities that I've shared with the board, and that over the summer, the board and I will be discussing in greater length. And those main priorities include improving mental health supports, specifically in the area of anxiety, trauma, and socialization, targeting and partnering with families to improve said mental health, reduce absenteeism, and raise academic performance. Another priority for the administrative team that we're sharing with the board and the community is improving operations, specifically in the area of communication and feedback to both students and parents, whether that's via a parent portal or other communication systems. We are looking to enhance safety protocols and training for emergency situations, again, based on some of the feedback that we received in the thought exchange. We're looking to create and foster a focus, more defined focus for professional development, and establish clear data resources and internal communication mechanisms that foster that area of professional development. And then finally, we're looking to conduct a study to determine the proper utilization of all school district resources. And we will have more information on that as we move forward with that said study throughout the course of the year. So those are really the 5 administrative priorities that the administrative team is setting for itself based on the communication that we received from families or the community, as well as being guided by that strategic plan. So we'll have more information and more specific action plans as we move forward throughout the summer. But I wanted to share with the board and the community that that's really what that thought exchange was about, helping to set the path to make sure that the administrative team is going in the right direction. Before I wrap up my record-breaking superintendent comments here tonight, I'd like to turn it over briefly to Ms. Lee Weber, who is our assistant superintendent for instruction. She's going to talk a little bit about the work that she and our new business leader, Anthony Kashera, have been doing on refining how the district is using our COVID-related grant funding, both state and federal funding, and how she's going to be seeking some input from the community to help guide us in that work.
Thank you. So I just wanted to let the board know, with Anthony Kashera, we've been looking at our various sources of federal and state funds. That includes the COVID monies, the increase in foundation aid that came through from the state this year, our consolidated grant, that's Titles 1, 2, 3, and 4, and our DSIP, that's our District Comprehensive Improvement Plan funding associated with the DSIP and the SF. All of those funding sources are outside of our regular operating budget. And all of them also require input from various constituencies, including the public. So rather than have 6 separate meetings for each of the different funding streams, I'm going to be putting together a presentation and a virtual meeting that parents will be invited to, community members will be invited to join. We'll also record it, so that's anyone who's not available when it's given will have an opportunity to watch it, talk about some of where the different sources of funding. These are, again, outside of the budget, where these different sources come from, the ideas we have about how to spend it, and then getting input from the community and various stakeholders, staff, students, parents, community members who don't have children in the district, so that everyone has an idea of where that money can and should be spent, that everyone has some input with it. I do plan to do that in July. A date hasn't been set yet, but it will be, I would say, in the next couple of weeks.
Thank you so much. Thus concludes my superintendent comments.
I hope I still have battery left on my mic. Thank you. And I just another quick congratulations to all the graduates who came tonight, who are all gone at this point. And to Jenny, that was a really, really interesting look at all that data. And I think this whole idea about the thought exchange and the kind of information that we can gather from the community and staff and students will really help us. And I think that presentation, I know it's the first one that you've done, and I know there's probably a lot of kinks to work out, but it looks really interesting and helpful. So thank you.
I forgot to mention that all of the content is anonymous.
Right.
Which when you go to view the public content.
All right. 1.11 public participation. This is public participation on any action items. Anybody who wishes to comment? I don't see anybody, so we'll move on. Action items. This is action items 2.01 through 2.12. I would call for a consent agenda. Are there any items that anyone wishes to pull?
I have one to pull.
Yes.
2.11, please.
2.11. Okay. Any others? Okay. So I'll call for a consent agenda for action items 2.01 through 2.10 and action item 2.12. Do I have a motion? Ms. Dickman? Second?
Second.
Mr. Donnelly? All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Okay. 2.11, this is the 2022-23 District Special Education Plan. Do I have a motion? Mr. Shapiro. Second?
Second.
Ms. Dickman. Discussion.
It's a long document, and I think special ed is something that deserves attention, and I didn't give it the attention it deserved. So I want to have an opportunity to do that. So that's the only reason I pulled it.
Okay. Did you have was there anything that you, wanted to ask could be answered here, or no?
Probably not.
Okay. All right.
But I'm gonna take my time and
Okay,
read it.
fair enough.
And certainly, if something comes up, I can bring it up in board member comments or address it with administration.
Okay. All right. Any other comments?
I do. I agree with Ms. Hodge that it is a very lengthy report, and because it addresses special education, it's particularly important. Not that all of our matters aren't important, but these students are specially situated and their needs are different, and it really does deserve the attention to make sure that we're serving them as well as we can. I think it is important to have a program in place and a decision in place, but it really shouldn't be a static program. There's always room for improvement. And I think there should be a continued assessment as to whether that program is effectively serving all of our special education students.
Okay. Thank
you. So I would just offer to the two board members that are making some comments about the district special education plan that I'd be happy to meet with you either together or individually to talk in more depth about the plan, and perhaps also include our assistant superintendent for PPS, who can share some insight as well. And if nothing else, answer some questions that you may have about what we do in the area of special education.
Okay. Thank you. Any other comments? No? Okay. So for action item 2.11, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Ms. Hodge abstains. Mr. Shapiro abstains. Okay. Thank you. 6.01, board member comments.
I have a comment, but is this on?
Yeah.
Oh,
It is?
yeah.
Oh, okay. I just wanted to, so thank you, Ms. Mermelstein, for the presentation about the thought exchange. I thought it was excellent. I do think, to your point about how there were so many positive reactions to the thoughts, I think it's a testament to the voice that our community has and the suggestions that are out there and that are being put out publicly. And I think the fact that there was so much support for each of the comments is a testament to how important and significant those comments and those suggestions probably are. So I don't know if I look at it as, not that you were looking at it as negative, but I almost look at it as a super positive thing, that it means something. It means that people thought it was important enough to make the comment, and then so many people agreed with so many things our community said, that it's probably a really good opportunity to look at those particular comments, because it seems kind of obvious that they deserve attention. So thanks.
Thank you. Other comments?
I have some comments.
What?
Do you want to go first, Paul? Oh, okay. You want to go next? All right, go ahead.
Again, I'd like to second what Ms. Hodge said. Thank you so much for that wonderful presentation. It was well put together, and it's a testament to our community. So thank you for doing that. Also, I'd like to congratulate Ms. Marlo Dickman on becoming our new vice president. Has a good ring to it, Madam Vice President Dickman. Congratulations. And with that being said, I'd like to thank Mr. Paul Shapiro for your tenure as our vice president. You did a great job, and we certainly thank you. And when the thought came around, I was kind of cringing, hoping that they wouldn't call on me. So, Marlo, thank you so much for stepping up. You do a great job. And congratulations again, Matt, for being our president. You're a great leader, and we look to keep you around for a while. And finally, I'd like to congratulate Mr. Tom Donnelly on becoming a grandfather. Tom is a grandfather again, and he has a new grandson. And the most outstanding part about the grandson being born, he's named after Tom. So he's Thomas. So we have another great Thomas in the world. So congratulations, Tom. And with that being said, I'll pass the mic along.
I just want to say, Judy, welcome back. It's great to have you back. We missed you. We missed you, Judy, so welcome back. Hope to see you regularly again. Thank you, Judy.
Thank you.
Jen, thank you so much for the thought exchange. The fact that about 800 plus people participated, that's a great beginning. Maybe the next time we do it, we'll see numbers that will break 1,000 and just keep on going up and up and up. It's a really good venue, if you will, for people to get their thoughts out there and to show support or to show concern of things that are going on. But obviously this was a very positive one, and I would assume that all the rest will be just as positive too. And of course, congrats to the students who were here tonight, and to the families, and also to those other students who did not show up tonight, but congratulations to them on their graduation. Marlo, you have no shoes to fill. Okay, I'll tell you that right now. And I want to congratulate you on becoming the VEP. And Darryl, you said something about Matt, and it's true. Matt, you have, and not that I'm surprised, you are just a very steady hand, and it is a pleasure to have been your vice president for 3 years, and I'm so happy that you're continuing on, and you've really done just a great service to this board to get us on the path that we're on now. We can only become a better board. I'm thrilled to be working with the 6 other board members and with Dr. Gunderson. It's just a pleasure coming here every time we meet. I wear my heart on my sleeve, and for those people who are listening, of which there may not be any, but for those people who are listening in this room, I tell it how I feel, and I'm very fortunate to be here. And I'm thrilled that I can continue to be on this board, and I hope that the future will have that plan for me as well. Those are my thoughts. Not as long as Dr. Gunderson's thoughts tonight.
I thought you were going to say it was a pleasure to be my vice principal.
It was a pleasure to be your assistant principal when you were in high school for those 17 years that you spent in high school. But you did finally graduate, and I'm so thrilled about that. And those are my thoughts for tonight.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you for the peaceful transfer of power from. But I had an excellent model while I sat there all year to learn from. So I want to thank our graduates and Pat Breen for being here tonight. Although we missed you at graduation, you were not forgotten, and we were so happy that we could thank you in person and hear your names called. And we're sorry for the unfortunate circumstances that kept you away from graduation. And thank you, Ms. Mermelstein, for that presentation. I thought it was very clear. You seem like you've been doing that your whole life. So thank you for presenting that to us. And thank you to our students and our staff and our parents and our community members for participating in this and for having the confidence in the district to engage in this way, knowing that we will take all of your thoughts and your recommendations to heart, because they're all very worthwhile. And technology is something of a mixed bag. Sometimes it works well and sometimes there's problems, but I really feel that this was an excellent use of it because we were able to hear so much from so many different voices in sort of a very unfiltered way. And but at the same time, it got us right to the crux of what people were thinking about. So I appreciate everyone who took part in this, and hopefully will again in the future. And that concludes my comments for tonight.
All right. Thank you. Anything? You good? All right. All right. Again, just thank you. Thank you. You know, you don't have to thank me for being here. I just, this is what we do, you know, and I don't, you know, and I appreciate all the kind words, but I don't need it. We are a team, and that's all there is. All right, so let's move on then. 7.01, public participation. This is public participation on district-related business. Yes. Absolutely. Okay. Do you want a mic?
one of the things from the thoughts which hit home for me was somebody was saying something about don't wait till close to the election to do something. Don't wait for the board till the budget vote. Dr. Gunderson, we saw what happened the morning of the vote. Be prepared for that again. And it's going to come. You know it's going to come. So I know it's only July, and I know we just passed the budget. And I know you're all here, and thank goodness you're all here. But think about this. This is it's not going away. It's not going away. I have 2 houses just on either side of me have sold to people who are not going to be sending their kids to school here. I don't know what else to say. You've got to I don't know when you're supposed to start all this, but don't be surprised. They're there, and there's going to be a problem again next May. Just saying that. And thank you for everybody's reaching out to me again. That was lovely. I missed all of you. COVID had a lot. I missed you during COVID. And thank you all for the moment of silence for my husband and Tommy for what you said that night. Heather tried to get me to come here that night. I met her at Dunkin' Donuts, and she said, "Why don't you come to the meeting tonight?" And I said no, and thank you. So that was very, very nice. Maybe I'll be participating more during meetings. You never know.
Thank you, Judy. How come you're all the way on the side, though? Oh, okay. They took your seat. Got it. Okay. Usually right in the middle. That's where I want to be, so you can see. Okay. All right. Well, we're back here August 2nd, so we'll save the seat for you. Thank you. Any other public? Anybody else? Okay. All right. 8.01, Superintendent closing comments.
I have no further comments.
All right. Thank you. That'll take care of our meeting for tonight. As excuse me, as I just said, our next meeting will be in 4 weeks. It's August 2nd. And I hope everybody enjoys the first half of their summer. Do something fun, enjoy the weather, take some time, relax, and we will see everybody here the first week of August. So do I have a motion to adjourn? Mr. Shapiro. Second?
Second.
Ms. Dickman? All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned. Enjoy your July.